So you came. I've been waiting for you. You're here to hear the rest, right?
Yes. Wait. Just wait a minute. What the heck is your deal? How can you be so calm? If we hadn't shown up just now, you'd...
Have been stabbed in the heart by this young man and died. Yes. Although, that reminds me, I haven't thanked you yet. Thank you very much.
Kane, you're being super freaky right now.
I appreciate you saving me.
Hold on. How do you know about being stabbed by Dio? Are you an Esper too?
Yes. Indeed, I am.
Why are you so slow?
I am able to jump through time, just like you.
But what the heck were you thinking? If you knew he was going to stab you, why were you going to let him do it?
Because I had to.
What?
Think back. Why are you here? If I hadn't been killed by Dio, no one else would have been murdered. Consequently, your own abilities would never have manifested. I did explain, didn't I? The purpose of the AB project was to send the two of you to the past. Or your minds, at least. In order for that to happen, some death was necessary. When a human brain is faced with danger, its processing speed increases. Information is processed more quickly, and time almost seems to slow. A few seconds can feel like an eternity. Unfortunately, that in itself isn't enough to send oneself through time. The amplitude of the consciousness is simply too small. In order to increase the amplitude, we need to slow down the brain before the increase happens. It's a little like a slingshot. You pull back on the rubber band and then let go. The potential energy you stored in the band is released and converted into kinetic energy. That's what fires the bullet out of the slingshot. Now, while a slingshot can only fire in one direction, your mind isn't similarly limited. When the bullet of your consciousness is fired from the slingshot of your brain, it travels past the three-dimensional world and into the four-dimensional one.
So we're in the gummy ship to go to the next...
Time is no longer fixed. In other words, you can travel to the future, the past, whenever you like. Your consciousness has been released from the three-dimensional cage. In order for that to happen, I had to infect you with Radical 6.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That made a lot of sense, actually. Okay, so they're saying to be able to make a jump, there has to be like a ramp up, and if you're already normal, the ramp up from where it needs to go, it's kind of like Back to the Future. You have to get the speed up. Well, what if they only have so much space? Like, they need to get to a certain difference of here to here. I need to increase to whatever miles per hour. But in this one, they slowed the brain down so much, so the difference between of where our brain was and where it needed to be to jump was so far. When it let go, okay, something made sense, I think. And there's a lot of it that still doesn't make sense. But that part made sense, and I celebrated understanding something.
Don't you remember, Sigma? Luna should have told you about it in another timeline.
Are you sure? Infecting all of these people with such a horrible disease?
Every single one of you has been infected. Well, apart from Luna, of course. Unfortunately, it was necessary. We needed to slow your minds in order to store up your potential energy. Then we provided a dire situation that would accelerate your processing speed. The result is what you are now experiencing. Your consciousness now occupies 4-dimensional space-time.
Woo!
Even
Upgrade!
that, however, wasn't enough. You had the ability to travel, but your memories could easily be lost during the trip.
Which sucks.
If the project was to succeed, you had to be able to retain everything you learned in each reality. That was the reason you were forced to jump so many times. With each jump, your ability to remember improved. Eventually, you would be able to retain everything.
Flexing our smart
That
muscle.
is why we made you play the A-B game. That was why you had to select different chromatic doors. By forcing specific choices, we could cause you to make more jumps.
I think I finally understand. You crazy. A lot of things I don't understand, but all of what you said just told me makes some sense. Yay! See, it's where I am. That's where I am in the boat. Good night, Fantasia. Good choice. You did all of this so that Fi and I could jump through 4-dimensional space with our memories intact? Right?
Yes.
Why'd you need us to do that? People have died for this. I mean, let's count how many different ways people died. Murder, antimatter explosion, suicide. I've died. So has Fi. So have you. I think Alice died the most. Well, so did Akane, actually. She died a lot, too. So why would you do all this? What does it matter that Fi and I jumped through time?
Haven't I told you? Death was unavoidable. You were all destined to die. Sacrifices had to be made for the sake of the project.
Okay. I already know all that. What I'm asking you is why. What is so important that it's worth all of this?
I'm sure you'll figure it out eventually.
What? Just when is eventually?
In a
Tell us the
future
answer.
not very far from now.
Star Wars reference? That's not good enough. Why can't you tell us now? Instead of answering, Akane knelt down next to Dio and picked his knife up off the floor.
I'm going to keep this with me.
Don't change the subject.
But it's almost time.
What are you talking about? We've got plenty of time.
No. In a few moments, you'll return to the original timeline.
What?
This is the way it has to be. Don't fight it.
Wait, so you're gonna force us to jump?
Logomorph.
Yes.
Logomorph?
You call him Zero Jr. His official designation is Logomorph. Logomorph, this is an order. Unlock my bracelet.
Compliance.
Oh, not even with a cute little, like, back and forth? Putting it on Dio, probably.
Now, everything is in place. I have put the bracelet onto Dio. All we have to do is place his body in the 5th AB room, the second one from the right.
That's the one Park is in, right?
Correct. I will move him. I will also put your bodies back into the 3rd AB room. Once that's done, I will reset its puzzle to an unsolved state.
Why did you need to do all that?
To recreate the history that you remember. Your consciousness is about to leave your body and return to the future. Your body will be emptied, and your other consciousness will jump back in. If your bodies aren't back in the 3rd AB room by then, it would be bad.
So you're saying some version of us is going to wake up in that room and repeat the same history again? Well, I guess this could actually be our 2nd or 3rd time.
You are exactly correct.
This is some cool, messed up stuff.
Lastly, I'm going to leave this with you.
She paused and pulled something out of her pocket. I have been waiting for a freaking key to go back to the freaking garden where the freaking tombstone was that had a key thing. I think that's where it's going.
I'll tie it onto your ankle so that you won't lose it. All right, Sigma?
What's it say on there?
Tu fui ego eris.
It's Latin. It means, what you are, I was. What I am, you will be.
Yes.
Yes.
What am I supposed to do with it?
It will help you meet someone who's very important.
What?
Go. Return to the future. You won't
Back
be alone.
to the future.
I will be at your side, watching over you. Now hurry.
Wait. I still... Now here's the question. Am I going to be able to finish this tonight? I think I can. I might be able to push it. Might be able to push it. New destination has added a flowchart. 'Cause I can't stop here. That'd be horrible. Hold on. Let's make sure. Yep, did all that. Okay. This could be it. This could be the it.
Oh, looks like you're awake.
Is this the infirmary?
Why are we here?
Do you know what happened at the AB gate?
Kay and I went back to the infirmary, but
We waited and waited, and the two of you never returned.
so we went to the warehouse to check on you.
We found you passed out in front of the AB rooms.
Kay and I hurried back here with you.
Huh. I looked over at Fi, met her eyes. Do you remember what happened just now?
You mean what happened a long time ago?
Yeah. You got him pretty good, huh?
Yeah, I remember all right.
Hey, what are you guys talking about?
Ooh,
What
Quark,
am I? Chopped liver?
you're alive!
Back among the conscious and not psychotic, huh?
Yeah, thanks. Grandpa told me what you did. Thanks for finding the medicine for us.
Technically, we're all sick. All our day's work. Although, I wouldn't mind a little swimsuit action.
Really grabbing at straws here, aren't you?
I mean, freaking Alice is already halfway there. I wasn't talking to Quark. That was an offer for Alice.
Not really my point.
Oh, whatever. Forget about that. Now that you guys are awake, all we gotta do is open the number 9 door.
Huh?
What are you talking about?
Look at your bracelet.
It says 10. I have 10.
I've got 15 BP.
15? Oh, they did all the things while we were out.
That means I got 6 more points while I was out.
But how?
You've been asleep for more than 2 hours. We've played the AB game 3 times.
3 times?
Of course, the color and group assignments were shuffled around each time. But no matter who voted, everyone chose Ally.
Even Dio? Yeah. Tenmyoji and Luna bringing up the rear with Alice.
And now all of us have enough to leave.
I was stunned. How had everyone cooperated long enough to raise all our BP past 9? Was it because Akane hadn't been killed? Without a death to start things off, maybe we'd been less suspicious of one another. Or it could be the bombs had something to do with it. We'd all joined forces against Dio, and Fine Eye had been able to disarm all of them. All of us had banded together against a common enemy and overcome a tremendous threat. Perhaps that strengthened our bond. Which I had to admit would be somewhat ironic. After all, Dio had planted the bombs that forced all of us to work together against him. This must would have been what Kakane was talking about.
Haven't I told you? Death was unavoidable.
Needed a reason for us to be mad at
Sacrifices
somebody.
had to be made for the sake of the project.
Makes sense.
Come on, let's go!
Woo!
Let's open the door and get out of here!
I agree. Wait. What about him? After some discussion, we decided to leave Dio behind. Alice was the only holdout. She complained about wanting to take him back to her superiors, but after I mentioned that they'd come back to investigate after we escaped and deal with Dio then, she reluctantly complied.
All right. Let's get going.
Cool. Is this going to be like the victory perfect ending? Are we going to get a perfect ending? Do we get the true ending? Do we get the Akane ending? Do we get the Sigma ending? Which ending are we missing, actually?
Yes, just get on with it.
Everyone else swallowed and nodded. I grabbed a lever and pulled it down.
The number 9 door has been opened. It will remain open for 9 seconds.
Alright, everybody, let's move. I still haven't done the key thing! Yeah, the tombstone! I don't need to tell him twice. The room inside was clearly a loading elevator. It looked like some sort of large plate on top of a pedestal. We ran to the center of the plate and turned around. Well, why? The number 9 door stood wide open.
2, 1, 0. The number 9.
We'll go back and go to the garden and then unlock it. Whatever timeline was the garden. We're gonna go there. I ain't gonna miss something like that.
The number 9 door has closed. This ends the nonary game. Thank you for your... As the game is over, all doors other than the number 9 door have been unlocked.
I didn't want to skip it the last time. We're gonna hear that. Shouldn't they be depressurizing? Right? I would think they would need to.
Looks like we did it.
Yes, we should keep moving.
Beyond the door was a wide hallway that ended in a very solid wall. To the left, we found a very familiar looking door. We pushed it open and went in. Okay, we are depressurizing. I was like, we need to depressurize. We'll freaking have our eyes pop out of our head.
You know what this place is?
Yeah, sort of. This whole facility is pressurized, apparently. I think the idea is to keep the air outside and consequently the virus from getting inside. That means that if we want to go out, we have to decompress so we match the outside air pressure. This room is where you prepare for going into the actual pressure exchange room. See all those suits? Figure we need to put those on and head to the decompression room downstairs.
Whoa! Hold on a minute. You're saying the air outside is full of that horrible virus?
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Of course, according to Akane, we were already infected with Radical 6, so the whole room seemed a little pointless.
Why? How did all this happen?
Did they...
No, that's not possible.
We've come this far. We can't turn back now. Let's go outside. There's no way to know what's really going on until we do.
All right.
No one else objected. We all donned the protective suits and headed downstairs to the decompression room. The one that did not have the gigantic bunny. As soon as we were all inside, the process began. Through my helmet, I could hear the soft hiss of air being sucked out of the room. We stood there for several minutes, waiting for the process to finish. At last it did, and we heard the door begin to open. Beyond it was another decompression chamber. We repeated the process 2 more times before we reached the final door and opened it. For safety. So we're in the desert, I'm pretty sure. Dead, bleak landscape wasn't a surprise for me. I'd seen it before in another timeline. The others hadn't, however, and although I couldn't see their faces through the visors of the helmets, I heard more than a few gasps over the radio. For a few long moments, we just stood there, astonished.
Where the hell are we?
The desert, I guess?
I figured that out. I mean, which one?
I don't know, but I think I know what day it is. Look at the moon. It's red, right? That means today's the total lunar eclipse.
Pardon me.
So?
So are they the ones that infected the world with Radical 6?
Remember the astronomy magazine in the lounge? Well, the next eclipse like this was going to be on December 31st, 2028. So...
Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. Are you suggesting we were sleeping for a week after we were abducted?
Probably.
I think so.
Wherever we were must have been far away from any city. The air was clearer than I'd seen it. And the stars, the sky was full of them. More stars than I'd ever seen in my life. I could even spot the hazy arm of the Milky Way. But the most striking feature was the moon. It was blood red and massive, much bigger in fact than I remembered it ever being. Then as I watched it, the black spot began to move across the surface. It was hard to see details, but it looked circular. The spot continued to move across the moon, heading for the right edge. What? Are they gonna put aliens in this now? Could they be the original experiment, the one that would ruin Radical 6 with the world? The thing is, I don't know if that's true, because I thought the whole point of getting Phi and Sigma to be able to jump back and forth was to prevent Radical 6 from coming out. But then why would they make the experiment to make Radical 6 to make them leave and spread it to the world and then have them fix it? Why then just not make Radical 6?
The moon. Well, the moon's shadow, actually.
The moon's shadow? I frowned. That didn't make any sense.
Zero told me to stay quiet. I think he was worried I'd spill the beans on his operation.
Oh, are we actually on Mars then?
He said if I didn't toe the line, he wouldn't just kill me. He'd kill Quark, too. And I agreed, like an idiot, and brought Quark with me. Just so I could see her. Such an idiot. So, that being the case, might as well start with this. I meant what I said before. That up there is the moon's shadow.
That's the moon's shadow. So we're looking at Mercury or something?
Think about it. If that's the moon's shadow, then what's it falling on?
We're on the moon?
That's Earth?
Yeah. It's not the red moon you get from a lunar eclipse. And again, this isn't a lunar eclipse. It's a solar eclipse. Anybody in the black spot down there is looking up at the moon covering the sun.
We are on the frickin' moon. So if that's the Earth, then where the heck are we? Please be on the moon.
The moon, of course. This is the lunar surface. We were just inside a moon base.
Which makes more sense with the compression.
No way. No, you've got to be lying. How do you expect us to believe that? This can't be the moon.
Yeah. That's pretty ridiculous. Besides, if this was the moon, how do you explain the gravity? The moon only has 1/6 of the Earth's gravity. So what's this?
Is she about to jump really, really high? She picked up a rock and dropped it.
See? That looked perfectly normal.
Yes, it looked that way.
But we have Radical 6.
You were right about the gravity in a way. I was one of the people who knew this wasn't Earth.
Oh, wow.
Well, I suppose I'm not people, if we're being honest, but
Excuse me? What?
please just
Because our
listen.
brain is processing
Alice,
slower?
you were infected with Radical 6. Then we gave you the Excelavir, which cured you. The Radical 6 isn't completely gone, though. Some of its symptoms stick around for a while.
What symptoms?
Well,
Processing
Radical 6
speed.
can slow down your brain's processing speed by the root of 1/6. It can take a while for your brain to get back up to speed. Every one of us has been infected. In other words, all of our brains have been processing information at a much lower speed. If you evaluated the root of 1/6, you'll get a number close to 0.408. That means our brains are running at something slightly less than half speed.
Yep.
As you said before, the moon's gravity is about 1/6 that of Earth's. The time that it takes for an object to fall is inversely proportional to the square root of the gravitational acceleration.
Making things make
Since
sense
the gravity is lower
is
on
so
the
cool.
moon, that means the time increases. I guess that's a little technical. Let me give you an example. Say you drop an apple from a height of 4.9 meters. It will take approximately 1 second to hit the ground.
Yep.
On the moon, however, that time would be 1 second times root 6, which would be approximately 2.45 seconds. I used 4.9 meters because it matches up with the acceleration of gravity nicely, but it could be anything. The gravity constant is, well, a constant. You could drop something from 10 centimeters or 10 meters and it would be the same. Does that make sense? So now we've established that on the moon, things fall root 6 times slower than they do on Earth. That being the case, what would happen if someone's brain slowed down by root 1/6? To them, 2.45 seconds would feel like 1 second. 4.9 seconds would feel like 2. But it's not hypothetical. That's what's been happening to every one of us.
Wait, you're saying that's the reason we didn't notice the weaker gravity?
Are you sure you didn't notice anything? Think back. Huh? You and Sigmund Phi said something about it in the lounge. About how you felt weird.
This is so cool.
It's kind of like my body isn't really mine. I'm sort of floating. Like that.
Because of the gravity. So cool. It seemed insane, but what Luna said made sense. In fact, it explained Phi's apparently superhuman strength quite well. That's true. I just thought she was super strong. Yeah.
Wait. This is crazy. That can't possibly be Earth out there.
Yeah, it's red.
Look at it. I've seen photos of Earth, and it's blue and green and beautiful. That thing is just red.
Before we get into that, I should probably tell you something. This isn't New Year's Eve in 2028.
I'll say,
Today is January 27th. No.
Don't tell me. 30?
Still no.
50 years probably
Just
passed.
what year is this?
Like 2080.
It's 74.
Yeah.
2074.
That's insane. That would mean we were all abducted more than 45 years ago and put in cryostasis.